Hi YouTube. I'm just outside today, just doing a little inventory on everything, just doing some surveying. And this is my green pepper plants now. They got all kinds of new budding green peppers growing on it. Some of them getting pretty nice in size. And this is the second phase. The first ones got ate up by something. I don't know what ate them. But this is what I have now, and I can't wait to take some of them off. Still got watermelon growing here. Not sure what it's going to do at this point, but I'm going to at least try. These are the hot banana peppers. I grow them, and I don't even eat them. I'm going to just leave them on there because my neighbor said she'll take them once they start turning. She wants them to get a little darker. And I'm not sure if they're going to turn orange red or what because I've never grown them, but I'm going to let them stay on and see what happens. This is my third year of growing vegetables, but my first time seeing what's going to happen with these once they get beyond this stage. I've taken a lot of them off and chopped them up and frozen them, but it's a lot more growing. And I'm going to leave them be. Got some cantaloupe growing here. I got to get some straw in here to cover these up because I pulled a bunch of the plants out because it was too many. So this is what's in there now, and I'm gonna lift these all up. I'm not gonna let them stay that way. I'm gonna lift those up on the trellis. This is the squash. I'm just waiting to take those couple out so I can just yank this vine on down. I've about had enough of this one. I've taken vegetables off. I got some in the house, and those are the last two I'm gonna worry about. And here, I'm in the process of clearing it all out, as I mentioned in other videos. Today I'm going to whack down that pampas grass, and I'm not going to video that because I'm just using my little phone, doing my little bootleg thing. But I'm just keeping my Spanish lavender watered and my couple cannas that's kind of volunteered over there. And I already chopped down with a serious prune my dapple willows, but they're growing back stems already. This stuff grows so quick and so much. So I'm gonna dig these out and give them to somebody else to plant because this whole row here, including this section here, this whole row from this front piece where these peppers are all the way back to the grass is gonna be veggie planting area. So this is all gonna be totally different. So by late fall, going into winter, and by next spring, this is all going to be completely different than what it is now. I'm going to have a small greenhouse type cold frame in here along with some raised beds, or either that and or containers and grow bags are all going to line this whole area along here. This is the best spot for the sun for all of my vegetables, so I need all of this. So I had to do away with my peppermint grass. Getting rid of a bunch of that. I still got about a handful of bulbs to dig up, or rhizomes, whatever they call them. I got to dig them out and clean all of this whole bed and kind of reline it and cut some dirt so that I can make space and start putting some type of liner down to keep the weeds down until I actually use this. I'm not planting in the ground at all. Everything is going to be raised beds. I just need bigger planting areas so that I can do more vegetables. The elephant ears and bananas are growing as usual, just growing like crazy. And my sedums, I always forget what the yellow and green ones are called, but everything's doing good. I'm gonna pull a couple things out of here. I'm gonna pull that yarrow out. I'm gonna put the cornflower in there instead. I'm gonna pull that yarrow out as well. Not sure what I'm gonna stick there, but I'm gonna take it out. Got more cantaloupe is growing. I haven't seen any buds for fruit yet, but hopefully they'll show up. My tomato tree is doing pretty good. I can't remember this. I bought this at the store, so I don't remember what these are called. With some type of cherry tomato, but some of them seem kind of huge. So I don't know what it is, but it's kind of big for a cherry. But anyway, I'm still learning about plants. I know a lot, but I still need to learn a lot. More cantaloupe. And these are some of the peppermint I've dug up, but I had a whole barrel full of. This whole thing was loaded, but I've had some people come from Indiana to grab some of that, so I'm trying to give it away and not throw it away because it's beautiful grass. And let's see, I just pulled up a banana tree root ball. I'm gonna clean that up and decide. I think I'm gonna plant it over there with my banana trees and elephant ears. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with all these yuccas. I only want a few of them, and I think my favorites are the striped ones, the color guard. I like these the best. I need to pull them out of these and repot them, but I haven't done it yet because it always takes so much soil to do this stuff. And I kind of mix my own soil, trying to cut costs, so it takes a minute. And this is my last beefsteak plant from a seed I happened to find, and I planted it and it came up. So we're gonna see how this does until it gets cold. There's a little piece of basil in there. These are my lettuce. There's two types. This is the red leafy and this is the green leafy lettuce. So I'm going to take some of these out and spread them out more. I'm not going to throw them away. I'm going to spread them out more. And this is spinach in here. There's a few more little sprigs coming up. Some of the others are getting extra leaves. So I'm going to probably move them around a little bit too. It depends on, we'll just see what happens. And I have netting on it just to kind of, I was trying to keep some of the animals and birds from eating some of this stuff out, give it time to grow. Strawberries, I did pluck a handful out finally. I got to try some of them. Great. I'm in love with growing my own food. Now I gotta wait on more to grow. But I wanna find a bigger place to plant this too because I want a whole lot more of that. So they'll be planted someplace else soon. My trees are doing fine. They're looking great. I've got 4 thuya trees down here. This one is a little ready clearance plant right here. It was bent over, but it's straightening up more and more every day that it's out here. It's almost all the way straight now. It was bent way over. It's a hot mess, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let them grow. I'll shape them up later on. But these other ones, I'll do them pretty good. And this one has grown practically 3 feet since I got it. I got this back in the winter and it has grown a lot. It's pretty tall. It might even top out at more than 3 feet by the time this season, warm season, is over. It has grown a lot, but I did a lot when I planted that. I amended the soil, plus this soil back here drains well. It pretty much stays pretty moist, but it drains well, so it's doing good right here. It's been getting watered quite often. It's doing great. And that tree right there was just a little touch smaller than that one when I put it in the ground. But it's okay. It's doing great. And this is my little planter. I just kind of threw some together. I lifted up my silver files because I was cutting around it and I didn't want to chop it up. I still have to do some more grass cutting and a little weed whacking around things, but it keeps getting new orange blooms. I love the orange flowers that come out of those cannas. And that coleus, I love it too, the dark color. And that's called, what is that, blood leaf in the back? That was different. This is my first time having this plant, and it did really good in this area. This area gets a lot of morning sun and then it shades off during the day, so it was like perfect for this. I think that's a blood leaf. I love it. My hibiscus has got a few new little blooms coming through. I had this last year. This is Summer in Paradise. One of my favorite ones. Everything out here. I'm literally babysitting plants. My aunt went out of town and she brought all her little potted plants. So these here, these little hanging things and her little canna right here and that little pot and them little pink flowers and the coleus in there. This is all my aunts. I'm babysitting plants. These are her things too. And all these things in this pot and that planet. I just had her stick it down the ground so when I watered it, it would hold the water better. Even that tree back there, I think that's some type of verbenum or something. And then these things here. Gabby babysit. So they get water when the sprinkler comes on to take care of all these things. And this here, this is my second year growing hibiscus. First year literally getting flowers because my first plant, which was the Summer in Paradise, it didn't bloom the first year because it died when I went out of town last year. And I came back home, everything was crunchy because my daughter gave everything 2 cups of water apiece. And it was super hot out there. But this has got tons of blooms on it. And I'm not exactly sure, I don't want to guess because I am not a hibiscus professional or master at all. I just know that it's a hibiscus and this one has blooms, buds coming up for blooms, and this one too. These 3 that I just showed are all brand new to me from bare root that I ordered, and I put them in the ground. One is very awesome, one is a Starry Night, and I don't know which one, so I'm just naming the names. There's no particular order, especially in the way I'm showing the video. And there is the Midnight Marvel. I don't know which one it is because I've never grown them before, and I haven't gone to the store to look at them to know which is which. So I'll figure it out once they bloom. I'll be able to tell from the flowers and the pictures from my order that I have, and I don't know which is which because they didn't give me very good pictures either of what it looks like based on leaves or anything like that. They just showed the flower, so I'll figure it out soon. So again, I have Midnight Marvel, Very Awesome, and Starry Night, and I don't know which is which. So this is one of those 3. This is one of those 3. That is one of those 3. We'll figure it out soon. My shade garden, some of the stuff doing okay. I still have a lot of work to do on that because I don't have it set up exactly the way I want it yet. I just put my plants in the ground to save them, but I'm going to put them in a little better order soon. And I'm going to separately pot up all of these hostas in these pots because these are just my Save Their Life pots back here. So they're just in there just to keep them living until I figure out what to do. But I'm going to separate them in different pots so I can get a multitude of hostas. And those azalea, I still don't know what I'm going to do with them. They've just been faithfully waiting on me. I don't know. They're being patient. We'll figure it out in a minute. I had some Codia seeds I just threw in here. I just got some in my hand and I just basically just threw them in and then swept them out of my hands and just let them fall in here, and wherever they are is where they are right now, just to let them grow, see what happens. And some of them might even come back next year, who knows. There may be seeds that don't germinate this time, might pop up next year, but we'll see. So again, this is my area that I'm going to clean up for a vegetable garden. This end over here I'll probably use for various different flowers and stuff on this end, but there's going to be kind of like a straight shot, a part of it that's just going to go from back here all the way up there, and it's just going to be a long bed of raised beds, pots, bags. And when I put my cold frame together, I'll probably have things all the way around it, and as well as inside. These are my Dragon's Breath, Celosia, or however they want to pronounce it. Everybody has a different way they pronounce everything, so I'm not going to be perfectly correct, but I just know I love the flowers. And I have like a gazillion seeds of these things, so you never run out of these. And they'll drop themselves. Once they dry out, they'll drop wherever, and they'll just be randomly growing up everywhere. And you pretty much can pick it up, plant it somewhere, and it'll keep growing, even when it wilts. For people who don't know about it, these will pop up and grow. Sometimes I just let them grow until they get strong enough to stand up, and I can dig them out, and I'll just find a place to put them. And even if they wilt over, don't think it's dead. Just leave it alone and keep watering it, and it'll stand back up. Just a little random little tree I got in there. I'll probably put that in the ground too before it gets cold. I have to redo this whole thing because the weeds are just, they doing their thing this year. My little Spanish lavender. I don't think I like Spanish lavender as much as I like the Sweet Romance and the Munstead. I really like those, but this right here, it's okay. It's just not the same. I don't know what I want to do with them though. I think I don't know if I'm going to leave them in the ground and pot them up, put them inside the cold frame, but I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. I just don't know. So, down here, I just put this a little raggedy. Don't judge me because I got a lot of work to do and I had to do it by myself. All by myself. So, weeds, take care of them soon. Walkway, I did this to just smash down the weeds. I got tired of plucking up and down here, so I said forget it. And I found a roll of fabric in there and I put it down. This is a little more heavy duty than that little thin one that just blows away like a piece of paper. I got tired of plucking, so I wanted to just clean it up to walk up and down here until I finish this. I'll be working on this next year because this year I don't have the time or energy for it. So right now I'm just growing sunflowers just to get some experience. Some things I'm just growing because I want to know how they grow and I want to know where I want them to grow and how I want my gardens to look. This one basically is going to be my hydrangea bed. So I have a combination of the Limelight Prime. I have 3 of these. I have one in the center and that little tiny one on the end that's got new blooms. That one was nothing but sticks and crunchy leaves, and it grew all new leaves and it's got flowers growing on it. I fertilized everything well, but they suffered a little bit being stressed. This is their first year being planted. Everything in here, this is all new. Everything, because this used to be my banana bed, and I took all the bananas out and I put all these hydrangeas in. So next year I expect this to be super pretty. Gotta make sure I prune everything nicely and carefully, but they stressed a little bit and got burned up, but I'm not worried about it because they'll be fine next year. So I just popped in some of the red flowers just to add a little something, make it not look so raggedy. And I put in a couple teddy bear sunflowers. I had 3 and I gave a friend 1, and they are now blooming, and I cannot wait till they open all the way up. That is so neat. I love that plant. I'm gonna plant more of these in the summer. A lot more. I love that. And I got some extra sunflowers I popped in there, some tall ones. I'll see what happens before it gets cold. And all these over here, I chopped it down to where it was nothing but green, and I had about 4 times the flowers grow back this time, of course. And my neighbor from Nepal, she saw me cutting them down, asked me why I was cutting them. I said they were pretty leggy and a little sparse, so I wanted to get more blooms, so I gave it kind of like a haircut. And I said they'll grow back. So she came out again and she said, wow. She said this same flower? I said, yes ma'am, that's the same flower, the same ones. I said, that's what you do when you want these to grow more. You gotta give it a little trim. So it's growing quite a bit more. And that's the ligustrum in there. And there is also one over here. This one struggled and struggled and struggled. I don't know that I'm crazy about ligustrum, especially here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I don't know what that one's gonna do. They really should be a little bigger, but I don't think I want those. It struggles too bad with our cold here. So right now I'm just gonna let this do what it's gonna do. It wasn't meant to be the perfect pot of flowers. I just want to throw some color around here and use these pots and kind of grow that creeping Jenny, give it some place to kind of multiply. And the flower has definitely outgrown that, and I pulled some of the bad pieces of the creeping Jenny off. Like I said, sometimes I just stick stuff in pots because I don't like throwing plants away. And these, I just put them somewhere because I was gonna do one thing and change my mind. So I just popped them in here to keep from throwing them out. Nothing worse than buying plants and you let them die and wasting money, because I definitely don't have money to waste. And that's a red kind of banana red, whatever you want to call it. I have tons of seeds of these, but I haven't planted them yet because I didn't want to neglect them. Because when you first plant them, you have to be, unless they just naturally drop on the ground and grow, you have to be careful and keep them watered and keep them in the right, you know, situation. So I'm letting that grow just so the root balls can get bigger and I can break it up and grow more of these next year. That's just for color. And I think I'm gonna end that. I don't want to go in the front because I'm a little busy and I need to get started getting some things done. But I was excited to see all these green peppers because I love green peppers. So I got plenty of them out here and I cannot wait till I can pluck those off and use them. So anyway, I'll see you all later. I'll show you some updates again. Bye-bye.